Well, all over the news here in Nebraska is that, rural farmers are struggling. They're struggling because the prices to sell their goods are tanking, they're low. So they do all that work. And I know because I garden, it's work to grow food. It's basically not cost effective for them. So it is, they grow it, they take it to market, and the prices are so low at the selling that they're not making back what they need to keep operating. Now, this is going to affect the independent farmers the most, and it's actually having a lot of an impact on the big farmers too. Food is a needed staple. It's a needed staple for everybody because if they go out of business, where are you going to get your food? We don't have imports going on right now because of the tariffs. And if our farmers can't stay afloat, we're not going to have food. So if you have not learned how to garden yet, you probably should. I think victory gardens are going to come back into style because there will be problems if our farmers aren't supplying us with food anymore. And that's not me being hyperbolic or fear mongering or anything else. It is just reality. If they cannot grow the food and actually break even, they're not going to survive.
Our state has, in fact, gone bankrupt. Due to his tariffs and the loss of all of our migrant farm workers, our state has lost over $500 million. It's so bad that Governor Pillen had to call and ask him for a bailout, and we don't know if he's going to give it to us. My husband and I did used to own a farm here in Nebraska, and thanks to the loss of all the workers, we went bankrupt, and bankruptcies in our state overall are at a record high right now. It's still just so weird to me because we all voted red. Nebraska, every county, every district overwhelmingly voted red, and that seems to have been the reason that we're all out of business now. And that just doesn't make that much sense to me. If you vote for a party, shouldn't they protect you? Shouldn't they pass policies that will help you stay out of bankruptcy? And it's...
Montana and Nebraska farmers are now bankrupt. Why can't they just fucking work harder? Like, bro, why the hell are they trying to, get handouts and shit, bro? Yeah, you're bankrupt. Fucking pull yourself out by your bootstraps and work harder. This has to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in a while. Bro, they need to stop playing the fucking victim. Yeah, everybody has gone bankrupt. Everybody's been broke before. Stop playing the victim, bro. On God, at this point, I really just think that they want fucking handouts or something. Y'all just need to focus on yourself first. Stop focusing on, other people. Come on now. Y'all fucking voted for this. You get what you get.
So we're getting ready for the first domino to fall, and we know what happens after the first one falls. Well, the state of Nebraska, the governor, Jim Pillen, has asked the federal government for help because they're not going to be able to pay their bills this year. And here's the problem in Nebraska. They had over a $2 billion contract with the Chinese government to export soybeans to China. Well, out of that $2 billion, they've canceled all the contracts. So out of that $2 billion, $350 million was state revenue taxes. They're not getting any of that. And the governor also goes on to say that because the migrant farmers weren't able to work in Nebraska this summer, that those people didn't pay their taxes either. And the farmers who already have crops in the ground, folks, they've already spent their money. They're going to need help too because they're not getting any money from the contracts anymore. So Nebraska is the first state. And when you look at the Midwest, you're probably looking at Kansas, you're looking at Iowa, South Dakota, all of those places that are large exporters of grains to China and depend on migrant farm labor. They're not going to be able to pay their bills either. So here's the first one to fall. But of course, as we do know, a certain person in a certain house in Washington, D.C. at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, they know all about bankruptcy. I'm sure they'll be able to help.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for always come back to support us, to watch the videos. Thank you so much for all of you who have been subscribed to this channel. It is a pleasure. And for those new here, I am Fikazo. Please don't go without subscribing and like this video. Now, today we have an amazing topic. Today we're talking about Nebraska. Nebraska have been affected by the election, have been affected with many things. The after effect of the election have been affecting Nebraska a lot, I think, than any other states, because from the farmers, from the rural areas, they have been suffering from the day they voted. Now, things have turned on the wrong way. Things have went the way they didn't expect. That's why we've seen Nebraska farmers are suffering. That's why we've seen even other people in Nebraska also suffering because what they did. Now, we're talking about the after effect of the election, but on the side of the farmers, because right now reports are saying that many farmers have reported bankrupt. Okay, and then apart from that bankrupt, it is reported that many farmers right now don't have markets, so they are requesting the government to request China so that they can sell their soybeans to China, because China have cut the market of the soybeans for farmers, from farmers. Okay, now that's what we're talking about. So the financial difficulties faced Nebraska agriculture sector are a complex issue which influenced by a confluence of market forces, climate changes, and specific policies decision. Yeah, those are the things that have impacted the Nebraska farmers. Those who supported the MAGA movement are facing a financial crisis due to political and economic decision. Not only they, but even generally people are facing that economic difficulties, financial crisis, because, farmers were expecting a lot from the people they trusted. Farmers were expecting a lot, but even whatever they had have been cut. Even the funds they used to get is no longer coming. Imagine. So you voted to get more benefits, but even what you had have been cut. So you no longer have anything that can support you. Farming takes a lot. Farming is a lot of hard work. So it means it's not just a work you can do like the way you want. So it's a work which takes you much energy, much, mindset, much thoughts. So much money, of course, that's farming, so that you can get the produce or the product, the end product. But right now, the farmers are not getting that, which many claims that they're about to go bankrupt or they're about to lose their farms because of their actions and what they did. That's what you're going to discuss. We have a few people going to watch together. Please watch till the end. I'll come back with my commentary.
So maybe this is another unpopular opinion, but I feel like you should have to live with the repercussions of your vote. And if you don't want to live with the repercussions of your vote, maybe you should actually vote a different way. But if you do vote that way, then you should have to live with that repercussion of your vote. And if it causes you to go bankrupt and for you to lose everything, then so be it. That is on you. So I hope going forward that you've learned from this and that you will vote a different way and vote for something that actually is for your best interest. Most likely you probably won't. I guess we'll see.
Happy Labor Day, everybody. Today's Fuck Around and Find Out episode is brought to you by Nebraska farmers. Because how did you not see it coming when you totally voted for it? And just as a friendly reminder, the state of Nebraska during the 2024 election went 59.3% towards President Orangeman.
News out of Nebraska today. Apparently our entire state is going to go bankrupt in 2 quarters. Me and my husband owned a cattle ranch here, and I can confirm that all of the cattle ranchers here overwhelmingly voted for Trump. We support him. We voted for him. Something like 70% of our entire workforce is undocumented immigrants, and they straight up are not showing up for work anymore.
Now, I do want to offer you a little bit of advice. So you said you have about 2 months before y'all go bankrupt. Well, that means you have 2 months to figure out how to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And please remember that during this time, any form of government assistance is considered socialism, which is the very thing that you guys like to vote against. Because if you do accept it, that makes you guys hypocrites. But feel free to work outside because vitamin D exposure from the sun is really good for you. And also, it is an excellent form of cardio.
So, a serious question. If there are no migrant workers in the carpet farms or small farms, who's picking all of the fruits and vegetables? No one. It's rotting on the ground. Who's at the corporate farms tending to the chickens and tending to the cows and tending to horses? No one. So wouldn't it be a great guess that there are likely to be a food shortage in the next 3 to 6 months? Now, remember, Texas was the state that was complaining about illegal migrants. Yet, majority of the raids are in Florida, they're in California, and they're on farms. They're not on gangs. So one would think this is intentional because there is no one put in place to make sure that these fruits and vegetables and animals will be tended to. So one would really wonder, is causing a food shortage intentional? Because that's what's going to happen.
Alright folks, thank you so much for reaching at this point of the video. Thank you for these people who have helped us to go into the topic, who have reacted, who have commented on this topic. Now I'm gonna share my points right now. So Nebraska, we know exactly it is a state that depends on farming. Majorly, that's the source of income of this state. Now, after election, the farmers have been expecting a lot from the government, have been expecting a lot from the people they voted, but they've never get what they wanted. Now, there have been a decline in commodity prices. Okay, because a primary driver of financial distress, it is a sharp decline in prices for key crops like corn and soybeans. While production levels have been high, the value of these crops have been fallen significantly from recent peaks. This means farmers are earning less for the harvest, directly impacting their revenue. So it remains, after whatever they did, after wherever they trusted, it means things have declined, prices have gone down. So imagine if a farmer, let's have an understanding here. So if a farmer, like in the farming, let's say in the planting season, so you bought your seeds at higher cost. So it remains, if you're going to harvest and then you sell your produce at the same cost you bought the seeds, or even lower cost you bought the seeds, it is a loss to the farmers. That's how they are losing. So it means some of the farmers, they might have bought their seeds on the specific price, but right now, the prices they are going to sell the produce or the harvest, it is lower or it's the same. So that's totally, loss, because you've lost already, rising of the production costs. Now, if you're talking about farming, it means after or apart from having a farm, you have a production cost because you have workers working in the farm, you have many things, fertilizers, you need irrigation. There are a lot of things done behind the scene. The farmers are facing the rise of production cost. At the same time, the commodity prices are falling. Farmers are facing a record high cost of essential inputs. Yes, farming needs inputs. So if inputs are at high cost, that's rising production of cost, which means you're gonna sell your harvest at higher cost. That is those are the challenges the Nebraska farmers that are facing right now after what they did. Now, increased debt and liquidity issues. Nebraska farms are seeing a troubling trend of rising debt. Total farm liabilities have climbed, and growing portion of this debt in the short term, indicating an increased reliance on loan to cover day-to-day operations. Now, if you depend on loan, running your business or running your farm, like your day-to-day activities, so it means you keep just getting that loan. You keep getting that money because that's your dependency. That's how your farm that's what your farm depends on, because your daily activities depends on all those like money, those loans. So it means the loan you get is the what you use to do daily activities in your farm. So that's also a challenge, because if you're not getting a good sale on your harvest, man, you are not going to be able to pay that loan. That's also a challenge. These farmers are facing. Impact of trade policies. Yes, trade policies have impacted a lot. These farmers, from the tariffs and trade disputes, have had a demonstrable impact on Nebraska agricultural export, particularly to China, as I was telling you, because a major market of soybeans and the grains, Yeah, the disruption of this trade relationship has resulted into cancelled contracts and loss of market access, directly hurting farm income. If they lose China market, it means they lost everything, because China is the one that was buying the soybeans, is the one that was buying all the like, let's say, grains. So it means China was the biggest market. Now China shifted to Brazil and other countries. So it means the soybeans farmers, they don't have market. So if you're a farmer and you farm like as a business and you don't have market, you can imagine what's going to happen, because you're going to lose a lot of money. You're gonna store those things, those crops, but again, storing them is going to cost you, but also it is going to go bad, and people are not going to buy bad soy. So it means your soy have to be ready for the market, but you don't have the market, which we've seen reports that farmers are requesting the government to help them negotiate with China so that they can get back the market, because that market was so important to them. That's also the effects of the reactions of these farmers. That's why I say it, nothing sweeter than farmers' cries, because these farmers, they've never listened. It is not the first time, it is not second time, third time. It means they always like to cry. So that's why people enjoy their cries. Nothing sweeter than farmers' cries. For real, mostly Nebraska farmers. These are the challenges they are facing. Now, the volatility of the global market. The agriculture market is inherently volatile, subject to fluctuation driven by global events, supply and demand shift, and economic policies. Nebraska farmers are deeply integrated into this global system and therefore highly vulnerable to these unpredictable swings, which can quickly erode profit. So even worldwide, farmers are suffering, but also Nebraska, they are not excluded. So they also have to suffer no matter the situation, no matter what. So that's what they are facing right now, climate and environmental pressure, because also climate change is posing a new intensified challenges for Nebraska agriculture. The state has experienced a combination of warmer temperature, drier soils, and more intense rainstorm. This can lead to reduced crop yields, increased water usage for irrigation, and greater risk of crop failure due to drought and flooding. So this is also like a major, impact, or a major, effect on these farmers. Now, if you are expecting a lot, you trust someone to change things. You trust the guy, he's going to change. He's going to give you good life as a farmers. But right now, you farmers, you're not even getting like 10% of what you used to have. Even what you used to have been cutted, because government have seen that it is spending a lot of money. So it doesn't care about you anymore. You remember what the guy told you? I needed your vote. That's what he needed. But you guys, you've never listened. He showed you what he needed. He showed you what he wanted. He showed you whatever he wanted to do. But you guys, you never listened. For you, what you did, it's not the first time, not the second time. You always do like that. That's why nothing sweeter than farmers' cries, because I know farmers are the most important people in our society, because we depend on them or eat when they farm. But you guys, you did wrong. You did wrong. That's why you have to accept it and then find a way to resolve this, because it is going to affect you. I know some of you have the farms for a long period of time. You've been farming for many, many ages, generation to generation. But right now you're facing that challenge because you're not able to keep that farm. And that farm, it is important to your family. But you went ahead and voted against your own interest. And right now it is affecting you. So who are we to blame? It is you farmers. You did wrong. You F around and find out. That's why no one is going to cry for you, because you guys, you cry for yourself because you did wrong. You did wrong. So there is a lot of challenges the farmers are facing, but apart from the natural challenges like the weather, the climate and things, these farmers also cause challenges to themselves. They call those challenges. Now, they want to make America first. They did deportation, you guys. If you were depending on immigrants and you vote deportation, the guy told you he's going to deport millions of people on the first day. You've never Just think about that. Oh, you say, we depend on immigration. We use immigrants. Immigrants are the core of our farm because they do hard work other people cannot do. Right now, you don't have workers in the farm. So how are you going to survive? Your crops are going to rot in the farms. I'm talking about these farmers that need like people to harvest. I know there are farms which depends on the immigrants to do harvest. They use machinery. But the other who depends, who want to go and pick crops. So how are you going to do that? Are you able to manage that farm? You're going to lose the farm. So is it benefiting you? Does your choices benefiting you? That's the question. Man, that's the question you should ask yourself, and you should get answers about that because, it is what's happening. So there is nothing sweeter than farmers' tears because whatever they do is the one who called on their doors. You're the one who called all this on your doors. Yes, you trusted the wrong guy. You trusted the wrong guy. It is not happening on the Nebraska farmers only. We've seen many reports. We do many videos about even other farmers because not only Nebraska, even other states, they do farming. Many states depend on farming. So that is what's happening to Nebraska. All right, folks, tell me what do you think about this topic. Tell me what do you think about these farmers in Nebraska that are crying right now, and we don't care about their tears. Yeah, because they're the one who caused all this to themselves. All right, folks, don't go without subscribing. Tell me what you think about this topic. Let's keep our conversation in the comments below. I am a presenter, Fikazo. Thank you.